If you produce or host a podcast and you have guests on your show, you've probably run into issues of coordinating schedules, figuring out when they're free, and then sending them all the info they need to join, like best tips, best practices, the link to the studio, all that stuff. In this video, we're going to cover how to automate all of it. We're going to use Calendly, an automated scheduling program, and we're going to use Riverside for this, but really this method could work with any calendar scheduling program and any podcast recording program, even Zoom. So let's jump into it. So now I'm in Riverside, and the first thing I want to get is my guest link. Now, if you've used Riverside, one thing that might be a little bit confusing here is they have this thing called Studios, and I've seen some people on the Riverside chat sort of have a false perception that they need to create a new studio for every recording session. And I think this comes from our growing usage of Zoom, where when you make a new Zoom meeting or room, it creates a brand new code for that Zoom room. It doesn't have to be the case with Riverside. How I use Riverside is I just have a studio for each podcast that I produce, and then that link just stays the same. It doesn't change. And so I just give the guests the same exact link. So if you go here to my Paradise Lost studio and I click on Invite People, I get this link here, and it defaults to the guest link, which is the normal link I would send to my guests, which doesn't give them recording access, but lets them join the room. And this URL doesn't change. So I can just copy this URL, and I have my link for anyone to join the studio. Now, if you're worried about people just randomly showing up, there is a setting in Riverside to turn on a waiting room, similar to Zoom. If people try to join your room, a notification pops up saying, hey, someone's in the waiting room, ready to join, and then you can accept or deny that request. So you don't have people popping in on your studio, surprising you. So this link is our persistent link. So you just want to copy that link, and that's all you need to get from here from Riverside. So now the next thing we're going to do is hop over to Calendly. So the reason I like to use Calendly or any calendar scheduling program is I just send my guest a link. They click on the link and it shows the calendar and what time slots are available. It works out really well. It's very easy to schedule. It syncs with my calendar. So if I have an event already scheduled, it won't make that time slot available. But now let's jump into how to actually make this work. So if someone does book an appointment, they get my Riverside link. So let's jump into what I already use behind the upload recording. And we can see that this event, if I go into the settings, the main thing, this is where the magic happens, is location. So if I just clear out this location. So when you add a location, it gives you the options of like, is it an in-person meeting? Is there an address? Is there a phone call? And then it also integrates with the major video chat platforms. So if you are recording on Zoom or Google Meet, you could skip the first part of this video that I just said and just instantly add this here, and it'll automatically make those Zoom rooms and everything we talked about. But in this case, we're using a bit more of a specialty podcast recording software, and so there is no native integration. So in that case, we're going to go to Custom, and we're just going to paste that link here. So what this does is once someone books their recording slot, Calendly is going to automatically make that calendar event. It's going to invite them, and then inside that calendar event in location is going to be the URL to your studio. And then over here is when you can set your settings of like what time slot should be available. So you could say how far in advance you want to make it, how long this should be. You could have a pre-existing schedule within Calendly, or just set your own hours if this is it follows a different schedule. And then here is the best one. If I already have a conflicting event, how much buffer do I want before and after that event before it makes time slots available? So I have a pretty big buffer because I want to make sure that I have enough time to prepare. So if there's an event on my calendar, it won't make the next podcast recording opening available until 90 minutes after that event, so that if someone does book a time slot saying that they start at like 3 p.m., I want to make sure that I've got an hour and a half before that time clear and open and no conflicts, so I have enough time to set up. So that's the scheduling stuff. But then where it also gets really cool is inside Calendly is if we jump into notifications, we can also set email reminders and what kind of info they get inside the calendar invite. So if we go over here, we see, so as I mentioned before, they've scheduled an event, they get a calendar invite, and I can create a template. So the event name will show up as the podcast recording, and then it'll include their name and my name, so we both know what we're doing or who's joining. And then I also like to put some info inside the description of the event. And again, I'll put that link here inside the description. So they have the link, just in case they don't see the location link, they can also see it inside the description of the event. So 2 places, and then just some info and reminders and stuff of what's happening. And then you could also send email reminders, like whatever flow you want to send. If you want to send them a notification right after they book, if you want to send them a reminder 3 days before, 1 hour before, you can set up those email reminders in here. Now this is like an extra level in Calendly, which is kind of annoying. So I usually just have reminders and templates on my to-do list and ClickUp of like best practices checklists for guests of like, make sure you don't sit in front of a window unless you know what you're doing. Make sure you have a good microphone. Make sure you're using headphones, all that stuff. If you want that specific checklist, just let me know in the comments and then I'll send it to you. You could also integrate this with Zapier and build out your own notifications. But yeah, so the options here, and if you're doing a lot of bookings, it would probably be worth the upgrade. Just automate all that process, make sure that you've got a smooth flow, takes one task off your list of sending out reminders and checklists and reminding people that, hey, to show up. Also, the good thing about reminder email too is Calendly will include a reschedule link or a cancel link. So they get the reminder email and then it's like, I can't do that recording, and they're able to reschedule or cancel beforehand. Again, also based on sort of whatever parameters and settings you built. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So once you save all your settings, you go to your live page, you get your link, and it has your available dates and times that people can come and schedule whatever slots works for their schedule. And so it makes scheduling, coordinating a million times easier. All right, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple workflow, but it saves a lot of time. If you use your own workflow or if you use another program, podcast recording program besides Riverside, and maybe this doesn't work for you, I'd love to know if there's an issue with that or something. So just let me know in the comments, or if you found this helpful, also let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Check out whatever the algorithm is recommending right here. I'm sure it's awesome video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.